everybody, and welcome to the third to last round in Season 2 of the Sunoco Elite Series. This is round 18 of this exciting season as we're coming down to the wire for this championship. We're here at Colina, Spain. St. Pierre was taken out of the schedule last minute due to some track issues. It may return next season once the issue was found, but for now, we had to switch tracks 2 days before, so they had to get this track ready fast, and they did. But we are ready to go, ready to race here at Colina. On the pole today, Carson Bowers getting a pole as he already has 2 wins to his name this season, as he's going for win number 3 alongside Annie Thomas in her best career start on the front row. In row 2, it's William Brock, who is actually crawling his way back into a championship contention, maybe a championship position. He's a high threat for this championship now, and he needs to be watched, as this road course is very long. It's about, I believe it's almost 5 miles, so it's a really long, it's longer than Road America. So, alongside Tommy Turbo, who we haven't seen much out of him this season, but he is now up here. On row 3, Trek Tauger. These Trailblazers are very, very, very strong today. Apparently, because it's such a long road course, these guys have a high advantage here. Alongside second in points now, Paul Jackson, who was overtaken by Fitzwater once again. On row 4, it's Alexander Rowe, going for win number 2 this season, win number 3 of his career. Alongside the now points leader, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., still trying to get that championship under his belt. And in row 5, it's Pinocchio Young, still in Rookie of the Year position. We're wondering if that's going to hold on, because we're not exactly sure. There are lots of people catching up to the back of him, so he really needs to pick up the pace alongside Benoit Vervine, another Trailblazer, in the top 10. He's looking very strong today. He actually got 4th in practice, so Benoit Vervine seems to be extremely fast today, so he could be a huge threat for this race. Other threats throughout the field, Constantin, another bad start. He's going to start down, and I believe it's going to be 16th. He has a lot to go. Sean Angel's down here. Another Trailblazer car, the row ahead of Constantin, so he's still up here. Definitely a lot of hope for these Trailblazers, but sadly, in a shocking turn of events, Gerardo Ron did not qualify for this race. Cordell Paulson did not qualify. Rob Mooney did not qualify. We don't know all of them at the moment, because we haven't really calculated all of them just yet, but we'll give you updates as we figure it out up here in the booth. Obviously down there they know who made it and who didn't, but up here we know nothing. As I'm searching through the numbers looking for anyone who might be missing. No, I don't think we are missing anyone up here. I'm not sure. Again, up here in the booth, we don't know much, so it's kind of difficult. But this will be Carson Bowers, I believe, first pole of the season, so very strong competitor this season, as he's already got 2 wins to his name just this season, as he's already got a ride on Fitzwater Australia Racing next season. As we discussed last time, James Constantin will not be making a start next season. He decided to make an early retirement. He may come back in a future season, but he has decided to drop out, and no, it's not because he's cocky, no, it's just he doesn't really have the time for this, so he's getting his last few starts in, and then he's out. Which, it's sad to see someone like him go, but it's been fun while it lasted. This is his 3rd to last start in the series, so very exciting for him, making sure no one's stuck on pit road. No, Karenko had a bad qualifying, but made it by 1 spot. So Karenko starting dead last. He has a lot of time to make up. But it's going to be Carson Bowers. One more corner. Carson Bowers will lead him down to the green flag at La Colina. for our first trip into Spain. Green flag is out at La Colina in Spain. We expect this first 2 corners to be pretty tough on people and maybe a crash as they come down into it. Right here. Down into it. Carson Bowers got a very nice run. So did William Brock. I did hear contact, so there may have been a crash. Oh, Caldwell! Who hit him? Like I said, we did expect this as he would get clipped by Vincent. Those two are great friends, and they just... Wow. Caldwell would drop out of the race in dead last. But I talked about it earlier. William Brock is now getting himself back into a championship position, as last season he was a huge championship contender. This season not so much, but he's been slowly making it up. Trek Tauger makes the move for 3rd though. He's also looking very strong. As you can see, Jackson and Fitzwater together. That's not what Jackson wants, because a first place position ahead of Fitzwater is not going to get him the points lead back, as he's now going to start to separate from Fitzwater. That was an amazing run down the straightaway, as Fitzwater got the exact opposite. Okay, is now... There's Constantine. First and last start here at Spain. Oh. There might be something wrong with Constantine. He is very slow. That would be the last thing Constantine wants, is to be get a championship contention taken away. But right now, he is really slow. He is just not fast. As we're coming up into the speedway section, acts a lot like a speedway right in this corner. As you can see, look at this. It's my personal favorite corner on this track. And Young is going to get that outside line momentum, and he's going to take over Alexander Rowe. Fitzwater doesn't look that fast either, not as fast as we thought he would be. Oh, up front, there's a battle for the lead. Top 3, Brock just got the lead, but it's Carson Bowers and Trek Tauger very close behind. This is the closest we've seen Trek Tauger to a win since Old Spice, when he got a top 5, I believe it was, but no, he didn't get a top 5. Trek Tauger doesn't have a top 5 to his name, I don't believe. Right now, though, he's looking very strong down in the 3rd position, as we'll get your leaderboard up. Annie Thomas, though, putting in a great performance for herself. She still doesn't have a ride next season. Not even much talk about her getting a ride. Jackson already has that ride at WBM going next season, whether it's going to be in the 40 or the 1. But at the pace we're going now, at the momentum that he's been carrying for the past few races, it looks like he's going to be carrying the 1. But Fitzwater still may have something to say about it. Benoit Verveen moved his way up to 7th from the 10th position, I believe it was, on the start. So Benoit Verveen looking very strong as well. Like I said, 4th in practice, definitely something you don't want to underestimate. But as Constantine, looks like he's finally getting some sort of rhythm, as now he's right on the back of Duncan. These two aided each other a lot back in Calder Park, as Constantine and Duncan just helped each other. Will they go through with that today and just work with each other to get through this pack? Which would be interesting. Red Stallion and Epic Motorsports. But Constantine won't be around for long, which is the problem for Duncan. If Constantine's his biggest ally, it's not going to work too well next season, because Constantine, like I said, is retiring. And Nick Pericles is taking his place, which, look who's behind Constantine. There's Nick Pericles. Pericles, a lot of people were surprised when Pericles caught that ride on Epic Motorsports, but it's starting to sink in now, and Pericles, we'll see if that confidence booster definitely gets him through this field, but right now he's not too high up. He's actually near his teammate, Eugene DeMax, right there. And Kyle Collins right behind him. They're missing Dodd, though, who is all the way up here with Benoit Verveen in 8th. Dodd looking very strong. There goes Benoit trying to go on turbo. Dodd trying to go on the outside. Oh, loss of momentum. This is a very big momentum-based track, and momentum is very important, which is probably why Constantine dropped, not because of a problem, but because of loss of momentum. And because of that loss of momentum Benoit just had, there's Dodd now right on the back of Turbo. But your top 5 is Brock, Tauger, Carson Bowers, Annie Thomas, and Paul Jackson. Fastest lap on track is out of William Brockett at 2:15.8. He is very, 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 very fast. Now this is an interesting scenario because Brock has won the last 2 races in a row. It has never been done winning 3 in a row. And he wasn't even that good in practice, I don't believe, but he is just blazing fast today. Here's where I believe it happened down in turn 1 and 2 along with Caldwell. As you remember that Caldwell incident, as he would get clipped by Vincent, and Monaco looks like he's just trying to avoid it. It looked like he lived through that incident. Whoa. Oh, something's wrong. Something went wrong with Monaco's car. No power. No power is what was reported. And Monaco would, I believe, drop out. As we're back into this race, Brock and Tauger still 1 and 2, looking very strong, starting to get a gap over the pack. But then you see Carson Bowers, Paul Jackson, and Andy Thomas back here all battling for the 3rd position. And Chris Dodd is pulling faster laps than them. So Chris Dodd looks very fast. Maybe he can win this race. There's Lorenzo Log, and who is another person taking positions at Epic Motorsports next season. Since we're moving down to 3 people, Lorenzo Log is basically taking the position of both Torres and Rowe, as Rowe has already found a seat. I believe he found it at Maverick GP. That was announced a few races ago. I made that mistake last race that he didn't have a ride, but he did. But some people through this pack are still struggling to find a ride. Eugene DeMax, of course, because of all his bad luck this season, he has no ride at all right now. Roman Rahal, owner of Red Stallion, it looked like he would stay out of the team this season like Bratwish, but it was announced that Rahal would return to the team next season under, I believe, another new number. So Rahal, team owner and team leader, going back to Red Stallion, but still no more members of that team announced. Kyle Collins still unknown whether he's going to return. There's been no talk about Kyle Collins. Scott Roush obviously not returning because he's going up to the pit box. So it's not going to be a sad goodbye for him because he is going to be able to at least stay active in the series. He's going to be helping his team move to victory. Smith still an unknown. Duncan, Maverick GP. Karanko has moved to Trailblazer. Morandi is probably not getting a ride next season. Shepard, I believe, has a ride on Team Flame Racing. Anderson got it back at Fitzwater, Australia. Trainer is dropping out. So lots of people just deciding to drop out. Monaco would return to the track. He does now have power in the car, so they're returning, but 2 laps down. Or a lap and a half down, actually, I believe. Oh, Vincent runs it very wide. Oh, that was a oh, he's pitting. Early pits as I see someone else that looks like Chris Dodd up ahead. And William Brock. Ooh, this gives Tauger the lead. Vincent's in. Dodd, yeah, it was Dodd, Vincent, and Brock. Dodd's now out. So, how long until Tauger comes in? And could Tauger actually retaliate and win this race? So now the decision. So now the big question. Pitting earlier or pitting later? Which one is better? Tauger right now has the whole track to himself. We aren't sure how fast Dodd's going to be now, as we expect a few more pit stops. Brock all alone on track. Dodd all alone and Vincent all alone. While Monaco, who is just not good right now. Here's that speedway corner where the Trailblazers really don't thrive. Where people like Jackson, Carson Bowers, and Annie Thomas are going to be catching up to him. But it's just the speed he has on these tight corners really just outdoes what these guys can do to him. A few more corners to go, and then he'll finish lap 6, and we're getting there to halfway through this race. Lap 9 is going to be halfway through as he's coming down to the hairpin. This tight last corner. And is he going to pit? No, he is not. Tauger going to stay out another lap. Oh, some momentum loss out of some people. All three, second, third, and fourth, are all in the pits. I saw Benoit come in. Fitzwater's in. Thin Guy's in. A Log is in. Now we watch the end of pit lane. Who's out first? Jackson, 4 tires. Anyone gonna take 2? Benoit definitely took 2. He is right on the back now. Arndt! Wow! John Arndt! What? He made up a lot of position there. He's right on the back up in one of their ravine. Where is Fitzwater? Looked like maybe 4 tires and fuel for Fitzwater going for the long haul. But then we go all the way back to the front. And Tauger dominating right now. He is way out front because he's the only one left who has not pit. Out of the big guys up front, then you got Young all the way down here. Angel didn't pit either. So it looks like the Trailblazers are splitting strategies. Benoit came in. Angel and Tauger stays out, and Gerard obviously not in this race. Which is going to be frustrating for him, but he has a ride next season. At Club Haas nonetheless. As Trek Tauger coming down the hill once again. Going to go to lap 8. Is it a possibility that Trek Tauger could be one stopping it? Which would be a very interesting strategy, but if it works, he would definitely win this race. He's running wide, so he is going to pit this time. Tauger is going to lap 8. What about Young? Is anyone going to try to stretch it any further? No, 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 and no. All 4 of them. Young, Rowe, Angel, and Johan. Constantin, Demax, Pericles, Roush, Turbo, Smith, Karenko, Collins, Morandi, Duncan, and Brock going to the lead by a long shot. Oh my. It's going to take a lot to pass Brock here, but I believe Brock only took 2 tires. Which is interesting because Tauger's just coming out of the pits. As he's out of pit road, now he's going to try to file a challenge, but it's going to be a long while before he reaches him. Dodd takes 3rd. Very impressive out of Chris Dodd. As he overtakes Jackson, Carson Bowers, and Annie Thomas on that pit stop. Dodd looking very strong. Vincent in 4th, Annie Thomas in 5th, Jackson 6th, Arndt 7th, Young in 8th, Torres 9th, and Angel rounding out your top 10 after that first pit cycle. And remember, first pit cycle, Constantin making the move on Fitzwater, working with his next season's teammate. And Fitzwater, wow, Constantin very fast. lot faster than he was right at the beginning of this race. Now he's definitely improved. Benoit Vervine dropped some positions. He has time to make up. But Trek Tauger's still very far out front, but he's still got a long ways to go. Where's the gap? There's the gap. That's a long ways. Then it's not a long ways down to Dodd, who is very close. Vincent now moving up a position, or a few positions. But Annie Thomas right on the back of him. John Arndt, even with the relatively mediocre starting position, through that pit stop, he was very fast in the pits, and he is very strong today, as now he's in a top 10 position. Not sure if he took no tires or something, but whatever he did, it worked. And now he seems to be up here once again. But again, back in this dilemma, these championship contenders cannot let Brock get 3 in a row. 3 wins in a row will catch him even further, especially because we don't see a championship contender in the top 5 right now. Other than Brock, who is absolutely dominating. Jackson's the closest in 6th. Then it's a long ways back. Benoit is back in. Maybe a problem. Or maybe it... Oh, that might be a short pit. Because now with this, he'll be able to make it to the end on fuel. Could this be what he was thinking? Let's see what he does. Oh, this is interesting. I don't know what to think of this. Is he really going to try to stretch it from lap 9? That looks like what he's doing. Benoit Vervine looks like he's short pit, and maybe is going to try to make it to the end on fuel and jump the whole field right at the end. So if this works, this may be one of the best strategies in Sunoco Elite Series history, if not the best, here at Spain. It's William Brock out front though. Oh, Arndt and Young. Young took 4 tires and fuel, so he seems to be very strong. Arndt, I believe, took no tires and fuel. So the difference in tires is making a huge difference because there goes Young. Now past Arndt, but Arndt is still way ahead of where he was before the pit cycle, so we can't really be too mad about losing that position. It seems that the no tire strategy seems to be the one that works the best. It gives you a lot of position. Here's DeMax making a lot of position now. Is Trainer really in that position? Yes, he is. Wow. At a road course, Josh Trainer in that Dualt number 12 car is sitting in 14th position in a rank D, and he's about to give up, which sucks. And Arndt's gonna try it too. There are people trying insane strategies here. But I did see more than Arndt. I have to wait for the pack to pass by to be able to see. We'll see them as they come out of pit road. But I want to know who these people are fully, because you can't really see them right now. Vincent, Dodd, Torres, Arndt, Lorenzo Log, Jeffrey Finguy, Max Anderson. All these people are trying short pit strategies, maybe going to stretch it to the end. Benoit was the first to do it. Some people are copying his movements. This puts DeMax in 8th now. This puts Annie Thomas back in 3rd, Jackson in 4th, Young back in 5th, but this puts DeMax in the 6th position, which is the highest he has been since Mid-Ohio. Well, mid-race. Qualifying, he's usually done decently well in qualifying, just drops in the race. Today, it's the other way around. Bad qualifying, but great race so far for Eugene DeMax. Maybe this finish could give him a ride next season, because there still is teams looking for members, and DeMax could very well be one of them. Johan Arndt, I believe, got a ride on Maverick GP as well. So he is good. Trainer almost in the top 10, but being hunted by Konstantin, which is something that a rank D doesn't want to see. A rank A reigning champion in his rearview mirror. I don't think he's going to last long. No, he's catching an alarming rate. But then again, last time around, a 2:18.9, that's not bad. Necessarily, that's not too bad at all. But wow. There he goes. He's just going to let him by, it looks like. Brock's on pit road. Ooh. Now Brock's going to do it. It seems that everyone wants to take this short pit strategy for a spin. As now, in about a lap or two here, we're going to see Tauger hop down pit road. No. This is when this is Brock's normal pit strategy. Okay, never mind. Brock's not trying short pit. This is his normal thing. This is what he did last time. As now he comes out right behind Collins and right ahead of Roush. So, ooh, Roush, without Brock being up to speed, Roush is going to be able to retaliate on that outside. And take the position. So that's another lost position for Brock that he has to make up, and Trainer is in the top 10 right now. That's amazing. There is Jackson making position now. He's now back into the top 3. But it's Tauger now back in a lead position. Last time it seemed that pitting earlier was better, but Tauger's still going to try this late pit strategy. That's the thing, it looks like he might be able to make a 2-stopper. If he stays out one more time, he may be able to try 2-stop. But he needs to stay out again if he wants to even go for 2-stop strategies. As he comes back down the hill, as he's going to come down back into the hairpin, Annie Thomas now in the second position. She is back looking strong, but again, pit stops all could ruin that again. There's Eugene to Max. 2:17.7 for Eugene. That's the 7th fastest on track. He's not even slowing down. Neither is Young, as they're actually looking fairly strong. Tauger stays out again. He's going for 2-stopper. Annie Thomas stays out. Jackson stays out. They're going for 2-stopper. Young may be 2-stop. DeMax 2-stop. All these guys could be going for a 2-stop strategy. But which is faster, because Brock has better tires though. He's not up to speed just yet, but once he gets up to speed, it's going to be a different story. As now, Angel's gotten around Trainer. Konstantin's making moves, but I don't think he's not going to get close to Jackson before the end of this race. It looks like Jackson's going to be able to reclaim his points lead, which is good for him, because after Fitzwater took it away, a lot of confidence went out of Jackson. But it looks like this is going to be a race that's going to get his confidence back here at Spain. But now the rising question. Trek Tauger. When is he going to pit? Is it going to be this time, or is he going to assure that he makes the 2-stop strategy and he stays out another time? Which would stretch it, but then again, you're going to be stretching it later anyway. If I was Tauger, if I wanted to win this race, I would be staying out right now. That might just be me, though. That's the gap, though. About 7 seconds. Down to Annie Thomas, who is tying her best position as of now, but pit stops will change that because Brock's going to get back by. But I can pretty much confirm Brock is not making it to the end on fuel. With how the fuel runs have been, he ran it to about lap 5. He's probably gonna be out Oh, even decently soon. Probably about lap 16. He's going to be out of fuel, and he's going to have to run it back to pit lane for another dash. But he is faster than the whole field. Trainer still fighting back. Karanko! Wow. He started dead last, and now he's just really digging deep. He's already passed his team owner. No one is staying. Young! Okay. Rookie of the Year leader right now. He is staying out. That is interesting. So Tauger gonna go all out here, 4 tires and fuel. Where's Brock? Where's Brock? There's Brock. Oh! Tauger gets Brock in the pits. Tauger jumps Brock. That was a 7-second gap he closed just in pit stops. And plus, Brock might have to make another pit. Tauger probably won't. This is huge for Trailblazer. Annie Thomas back out on track. She is 3rd. Jackson's 4th. Dodd's back in this. He's back in 5th again. Been a while. Constantine still in 6th, but I believe we're still waiting his pit stop, along with Benoit Therabine. John Arndt did pit, though. No, Benoit did as well. So Benoit and Arndt just digging their way through the pack near the front. But here's the thing. Turbo and Pericles stayed out as well. The top 3 right now are Young, Pericles, and Turbo. Once these 3 pits, it'll be Brock, Tauger, Thomas, Jackson, Dodd, and then Benoit Therabine and John Arndt. As once again, we saw this before and we're going to see it again. Chris Dodd on the same strategy that Brock's on, and Dodd has probably run it better than Brock has, as he's up in should be up in a top 5 position right now. Trying to run with Jackson, trying to pass them, give him a little more room once he pits. And there is Young. He has a huge gap now. He won't be able to jump them on the pit stop, but he will be able to do a decent amount on this. He will lead a lap this race, though, which is good for him. He needed a lap led. 1 lap led is 5 extra points. Maybe that's what he was going for. Pericles is in. Turbo is in. Brock sees that Tauger is there now. He is really putting on a gap. Oh, we have a battle on our hands, folks. We're waiting for him to pass by so we can get our eye on them. Young got close, but here's that battle on track I was just talking about. Annie Thomas and Jackson are fighting with Dodd closing in behind. Oh, Jackson just lost all of his momentum. Young not that far off, as he actually was able to jump Arndt into Max. Wow! Eugene to Max looking very strong. But again, 2-stop strategy versus 3-stop strategy. Brock is faster than Tauger, but Brock has to pit again. Tauger does not. So where do they stand? Who stands in the winning position? I do think that Tauger is in the winning position as of now. Because of the 2-stop, Constantine's already starting to dig his way, trying to get himself a top 10 position. Fitzwater falling. This championship getting ever so close, as it seems that Tauger might be catching up again. But Brock trying to go 3 in a row. He will make history if he does so. He will be the first person in history to go 3 wins in a row. Calder Park, Carmen Park, and then La Colina in Spain. as we're getting through these European races. We have one European race after this, which is Autodrome de Paris, which should be exciting. Stay tuned for that. That should be coming out after this, probably about close to next week. Lots of stuff to do. But Autodrome de Paris definitely going to be exciting. William Brock, though, a few more laps to go, and he will get 3 in a row. Can he hold on? Can he stretch it? Or will Trek Tauger come to retaliate? Lap times that time around. And Brock is faster. I saw Morandi in the pits for problems. Jackson back in the 4th position. It seemed that Dodd has pit again. So Dodd's already in. Yep. DeMax makes the move on Young. Or no, Young's trying to make the move on him. That's the thing. Young is trying to make a move on him. Constantin fighting against Johan Arndt. Both Arndts in the top 10. Very impressive out of those two. Constantin barely hanging on to top 10. Fitzwater 14th now because of all that. Trainer. This is very impressive out of Josh Trainer. Because Josh Trainer is on the one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. Or second worst. HHR is the worst, but... And he's right now trying to fight for a top 15 position, which is very impressive. DeMax, though, trying to hold off Young while also trying to get past Arndt. Team Flame versus CJ versus Clever Haas. All three different Rank B teams, all trying to fight with another Clever Haas behind them. Young and Arndt are, even though they're teammates, they're trying to fight for Rookie of the Year. Right now, Young has it. As we go into Rookie of the Year next season, it's going to be pretty obvious, because right now, Andre Baranowskis is the biggest person to watch when it comes to rookies. But the gap right now, 4 seconds. From Brock down to Tauger, that's not enough. Unless Tauger pits again, which I highly doubt. Is Brock just going to give up this time? No, Brock is not giving up. Brock stays out again. Brock just does not want to give up, which is good. You don't want to give up, but right now Tauger's starting to close that gap, it seems like. 218.0, 219.3, yeah, he's definitely closing that gap. Brock was able to hold off John Arndt last time. Can he now hold off Trek Tauger, who has been one of the fastest all day long? John Arndt's pulling fast ones now, as it seems. Torres is in. He's not going to make it to the end on fuel. Eugene DeMax just trying to find his way around Arndt, Young, and his... Wow! Johan just jumped the other guys. He is now ahead of his Rookie of the Year rival in this race. That's another points race going on, which is for Rookie of the Year between mainly these two. But another thing, another one of the contenders, Annie Thomas, is third. She is looking very strong today. Definitely isn't the fastest person on track, as hers is 2:17.2. 8th fastest, still pretty fast. But Jackson right on the back of her. Jackson needs to put much of a gap between him and Constantin, or him as Fitzwater, as he can. Oh, but that gap is closing, and it's closing fast. Even if he stretches it, I'm still not even sure that Brock can win, because Tauger is closing, and he is closing fast. They come into this chicane here. They're into that S-bend. Now back down the hill. 2 laps to go. Can William Brock stretch it to the end and win his 3rd race in a row? As he curls it down into the last corner, he's going to try again to stretch. He is pushing with all of his might. Does he have enough fuel? I don't think he does. 220.2, 219.4, that's 6/10 chopped off again. It's less than 2 seconds now. A mistake out of William Brock will cost him. If he loses momentum in one corner, which, like I said, momentum is everything here. If you lose momentum in one corner, Tauger is going to catch you like it's nothing. Now, this is the closest Trek Tauger's been to a win, period. Trek Tauger has not been closer to a win this season. Because Brock is right there. But I'm not sure if he has time. If Brock doesn't pit, I'm not sure if Tauger can even catch him. He's faster, but is he that much faster? As Andy Thomas, Paul Jackson still fighting for the third position. Johan Hart and Young still fighting for the fifth position, and DeMax all alone. Because Arndt pit, if DeMax stretches this will be DeMax's best finish of his career. He's not currently in a Rookie of the Year position. After this, there will be 2 races left, so this is where it gets important. Here's Jackson making an outside move on Andy Thomas. Going into the speedway section, this is where you would make an outside move, and he gets it done. Jackson to third. That hurts Brock's championship hopes a little bit, but Tauger is there. Coming to the white flag. Can William Brock stretch it to the end and win his third race in a row? Sorry about that. He's gonna try, it looks like. Sorry about that, I had to clear my throat. He's gonna try. 1 lap to go. William Brock. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Sorry about this. William Brock, he won it at Calder Park. Oh no. Morandi could be a factor. Morandi could be a huge factor. I might not need to start celebrating just yet, because Morandi is right there, and Tauger has begun to close. And he's going fast now. Oh god, yeah, I've lost my voice. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But William Brock, it could not be over, but he won it at Calder Park. He won it at Carmen Park. That's 2 in a row. That was the second person in history to pull that off. And now he's trying to be the first to pull 3. But Tauger is probably less than a second right now. As we come into the speedway section, or we're coming into it, we're getting there, as Tauger is so close. This might come down to the wire. William Brock, though, has the advantage. Only a few more to go. We're coming up into the speedway section, this corner. Here it is, their last run through this. He needs to hope that Brock loses all momentum. But that gap is very small now. 5 corners to go for William Brock, and Trek Tauger is right there. He's ready to make a move. Can he get 2 wins for Trailblazer this season and their first win out of Mid-Ohio? They've never gotten a win out of Mid-Ohio. 1 corner left. Tauger trying. Tauger down the inside. Out of the last corner. It's gonna be to the line. William Brock takes his 3rd win in a row. He wins. And Oh, that was okay. La Colina. Wow, Brock held him off. Tauger, that was an amazing effort to the finish. It looked like it was going to be a photo finish, but outside momentum worked in Brock's favor. Brock makes history and becomes the first person to win 3 races in a row in the Sunoco Elite Series. He gets his 4th win of career, tying all-time best with James Constantin. And for next season, he will have most wins of active drivers at 4. William Brock could very well win this championship as he goes one step closer to doing so. Trek Tauger came so close. He was there. 2/10 was the difference. But it wasn't going to be enough. Jackson takes away 3rd and the points lead. Andy Thomas, valiant effort in 4th. Young holds off his rival in 5th. DeMax, first top 10 finish of his career. He takes 7th. Zachary Fitzwater was able to dig his way back past Constantin. He takes 8th. Constantin 9th. Roman Rahal 10th. What a finish. Let's go look at that attempt one last time here at Spain. Here it is with a few corners to go coming out of the speedway section. He was right on his tail at most probably about 4/10 behind. But he kept right on his bumper. Down the hill, it looked like the straightaway speed would give Brock an advantage, and it gave him something slight. Maybe 0.02. But out of this corner, Tauger had such momentum out of that corner. He braked late, and he really dug it deep in the corner. It looked like Tauger was going to get it done, but Brock, outside momentum, really just benefited him. And Brock would take it to the line and win 3 in a row in the series. He is absolutely dominating these international races. Let's go look at your final finishing results. William Brock takes it away, another win. Oh my word, Brock is absolutely dominant in these international races. Tauger takes 2nd, Jackson 3rd, Thomas 4th, Young 5th, Arndt 6th, DeMax 7th, Fitzwater 8th, Constantin 9th, Rahal 10th. Other mentions, John Arndt had to pit near the end, still ends up 14th. Benoit Ravine ends up 18th even after all he went through. And then some retired guys near the bottom. Trainer ends up 26th after all that. Angel 30th. Caldwell, after dropping out at the very beginning, losing a lot of championship there, he may be out of contention, as we're only having 2 races to go after this, and Brock seems to be in an absolutely amazing position. 3 wins in a row. It is the first to be done. Absolutely incredible. Karenko, when starting dead last, claws his way up to 12th, pretty much following in Fitzwater's footsteps after he did it at Sonoma, and now Karenko does it here at La Colina. I believe it's, yeah, La Colina, sorry, not Carina. At La Colina here at Spain. Next time we're going to Autodrome de Paris for our second to last start in the series. Then we'll be awarding the points for most laps led, most laps counted. And then we're going to be crowning a champion at Yas Marina once again in Abu Dhabi, trying to see who can win Season 2. Right now, Brock seems like that person, but it's going to come down to the wire. We'll see you guys at Autodrome de Paris. Congratulations, William Brock, for making history. First person to go 3 in a row. Great run out of William Brock. We'll see you at Autodrome de Paris next time. Ciao.